There's a new trend in alternative medicine. More people are getting acupuncture. They're seeing practitioners like Madeline Cunningham, a licensed herbalist, acupuncturist, and functional healing practitioner, who's been practicing in Boston for the last 4 years. Cunningham became an acupuncturist after suffering from burnout at her high-stress hedge fund job 7 years ago. She tried the prescription medication recommended by doctors, but it didn't seem to help. That's when she decided to try alternative healing methods like cupping and acupuncture.
I started to be able to feel my emotions in a way that felt more tolerable and connect into my body a little bit more.
Her experience as a patient led her to a career change. She went to school for 3.5 years in Texas and moved back to Boston to start her own practice. She noticed that most of her patients are women.
I thought it was going to be more women in their 30s to 50s, but I'm seeing a lot of women, even college age, early 20s, late teens, really starting this process, which has been so surprising to me and so cool to work with them.
What are people looking for when they come to you specifically?
When people come to see me, it's always word of mouth. And it is usually someone who's experiencing something strange and someone says, I don't know, you should go see Maddie. So she'll probably figure it out.
People are coming to see Cunningham because they haven't found solutions with Western medical approaches.
It tends to be symptoms that aren't necessarily found in a diagnosis. Not that I can diagnose and treat, but things that are more subclinical. People who have autoimmune issues, hypofunctioning thyroids, it's more internal medicine based than pain.
Recent studies show that in the last 20 years, there's been an increase in patients using acupuncture complementary to their doctor's medical advice. What do you think is the reason behind that?
The common theme is that people are pretty unsatisfied with their primary care physicians and the answers that they have for them. What I'm seeing, and especially in my patient population, is patients are really advocating for themselves. They really want to understand what's going on with their health. They want additional testing. They want comprehensive testing. They want their physicians to really work with them to understand what is happening in their health. And I think that there's such an increase in knowledge due to social media, due to just the access of information that people have, that people now know they can get the answers. It's just what avenue are they going to go through it with?
Well, that kind of supports the idea, that social media is having a huge play on spreading the word about acupuncture. And that goes into one of my theories that in the last 20 years, social media has also blown up, which is probably also why people are getting their information.
Absolutely.
But what's the negative, if any, impact that social media might have on acupuncture?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I will say my entire practice is based on word of mouth. A large part of that has to do with social media and patients sharing their experiences and how they feel. And it's really beautiful to witness.
Even if social media has its perks, Cunningham also recognizes its drawbacks.
The negative side can be that anyone can say anything on social media, and it's not necessarily education-backed, data-driven. And as long as that person has some kind of established authority in some way or some kind of audience, you can really sway opinions that way. And I don't think that people do this in any sort of malice way. They're sharing what worked for them, but we know that that may not work for the general population. And we know that some of the things that they're suggesting might be harmful to people. And I think this is where we see a lot of people try to do it themselves. And I'm all for people taking accountability of their health. But with some things, you really do need a trained professional to work with you to do this. That's the value of working with someone. And I think that there can be some danger that people try to go down this road on their own, not knowing what they're looking out for or what they need to be mindful of before embarking on a journey.
So what should they look for in a trained professional to make sure that they're going to the right person, right? Or I guess on social media, what should they be looking out for to make sure that they're not getting misinformation or biased information?
Absolutely. Any kind of credentials. I mean, I'm a licensed acupuncturist. I have a lot of trainings in functional medicine as well. Those are all listed after my name. And I am not in the believer that you need a credential to be an expert in your field. But if you don't have those credentials, I definitely want a word of mouth referral.
What do you think is the future of acupuncture? Like, where is it heading towards?
I'm really hopeful that acupuncture will continue to be recognized for as valuable as it is. What I will say is the tide seems to be really turning in healthcare in general, that patients are much more strongly advocating for themselves. They are wanting to understand their health. They are really coming to their physicians needing answers. And if you are a person in that camp right now, I am hopeful for the future of medicine that it will change. But know at this moment, there are practitioners that can help you find the answers that you're looking for. You may just have to go a little bit of an unconventional route to get there.
That was Madeline Cunningham, licensed acupuncturist, herbalist, and functional healing practitioner. You can find her on Instagram at Mads Cunningham.